on new episodes of The View when she tries to pull the race card.
Yes.
And then she's like, America is racist. And then they're like, yeah, they might be racist, but they're not like slave owner racist. like somebody that we...
That's so true.
One thing, and I would have even actually not give her any is she said, well, like, I guess that's just what they did back then.
Yeah.
She should have followed that up with saying something along the lines of, and I understand that that's a departure from the way I've talked about this before.
Punctuated and corrected paragraph, the punchline landed perfectly, sending the crowd into laughter. But Gutfeld wasn't finished with the joke. He used the moment to point out what he saw as a clear contradiction. For years, Sunny has pushed the idea that people should confront their family histories, especially when talking about systemic oppression and historical responsibility. But when the spotlight turned toward her own family's complicated past, she seemed to brush it off as simply a fact of life. Gutfeld quickly picked up on that contrast. To him, it showed the problem with identity politics. The standards people demand from others should also apply to themselves. His larger point was simple. Conversations about race and history are complicated.
It is funny. She's so wrapped up in identity and she had no idea who she was.
Well, now we understand why she always makes Whoopi get the coffee.
Exactly, because if she is shaming descendants of this, will she continue to do that when she is now one of them?
And they require honesty, consistency, and a willingness to look at your own side of the story too. Gutfeld argued that turning complicated issues into simple, identity-based stories can make people miss the bigger picture, including their own contradictions. The real twist he emphasized wasn't simply that Sunny's family history connected to a system she strongly criticizes. It was that, when confronted with that uncomfortable detail, she appeared to brush it aside and question its importance. For Gutfeld, the moment represented something bigger than Sunny herself. It was a lesson in how personal accountability can sometimes get pushed aside when outrage becomes part of the performance. Once the details of Sunny's family history spread online, social media exploded with reactions. Memes, jokes, and heated opinions quickly followed. One viral joke even played on the idea of reparations being paid to oneself. Twitter and TikTok were—
Greg, in her defense, everyone has ancestors that did unspeakably horrible things. It's just that not everyone's ancestors have records tied to their DNA about it. I'm more worried for Sunny Hostin's progeny in the future that do a DNA test and find out that they were related to a cast member of The View. And they're like, oh, it all makes so much sense now why I'm so stupid and fat.
were soon filled with commentary, keeping the controversy alive and turning one awkward moment into a much bigger online debate. Some people came to Sunny's defense, arguing that she shouldn't be blamed for the actions of people who lived generations before her. But critics saw a different issue. They pointed to the contrast between Sunny's strong focus on holding others accountable for historical wrongs, and her seemingly casual response to her own family history, which she described as simply a fact of life. That raised a bigger question. Should public figures be held to the same standards they expect from everyone else? Critics argue that Sunny's response lacked the self-reflection they would expect from someone who regularly speaks about accountability. The irony kept the controversy alive for weeks. The fallout also created some awkward moments on The View as discussion of the family history surfaced. The usual lively atmosphere appeared to become more uncomfortable. Even Whoopi Goldberg seemed unsure how to respond in the moment. Meanwhile, the mood on Greg Gutfeld's panel was much lighter. His co-hosts leaned into the controversy with jokes and sharp commentary. One even joked that Sunny might have to start criticizing herself over her family's past. The laughter—
Guess there's nothing worse than to find out you're a white woman.
She's so disappointed.
It's really disappointing.
Her mother was white.
Oh my God.
Shame.
Oh my God.
The horror. History, and finds out that this is fantastic. She is descended from slaveholders. She's descended from slaveholders, and she's been apparently getting a lot of mail about her call for reparations because it turns out she's going to be paying them and not actually receiving.
Highlighted their larger criticism, what they saw as a double standard. Rosie O'Donnell also weighed in, taking a more measured approach and encouraging a broader look at the controversy. Rosie O'Donnell offered a more measured view, arguing that people should be judged by their own actions, not simply by their ancestry. She also pointed out how identity politics can sometimes turn complicated issues like race and history into overly simple narratives. Reactions to Sunny's situation remain divided. Some saw it as a chance to discuss personal accountability, while others saw it as another example of identity politics backfiring. But one thing was hard to ignore. Sunny's response left many critics wanting more. Instead of using the moment to explore her family history and the complicated nature of ancestry, she appeared to dismiss it as simply a fact of life. That created a bigger conversation about whether people who demand accountability from others should be willing to apply the same standard to themselves.
If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing
Just
there.
go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there.
With viral memes and Gutfeld's sharp commentary keeping the story alive, the controversy isn't disappearing anytime soon. How Sunny responds, or whether she responds at all, could ultimately shape how this moment is remembered. Sunny Hostin is making headlines again, but this time the focus is on her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin. The orthopedic surgeon is reportedly at the center of a major legal battle involving allegations of insurance fraud, illegal kickbacks, and a massive RICO lawsuit naming around 180 defendants. The RICO Act was originally created to target organized criminal enterprises. But according to the lawsuit, this case involves medical professionals allegedly accused of exploiting the healthcare system for financial gain. The claims include allegedly
I want a citizen that has a policy. I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation? How about removing some of the podcasts that disseminate this misinformation?
They have.
And that's
accepting improper payments, performing unnecessary procedures, and submitting inflated or questionable insurance bills. If proven, the allegations would raise serious concerns because this isn't just about money. It involves the healthcare system and, most importantly, patients' well-being. The lawsuit directly accuses Dr. Hostin of accepting financial kickbacks for recommending and performing arthroscopic surgeries. These minimally invasive procedures can be common, but the lawsuit alleges that some may have been unnecessary. That raises an important question. Were these patients actually in need of surgery, or were they allegedly caught up in a larger money-making scheme? If the allegations are proven, the case could become a major healthcare scandal. Imagine trusting a doctor only to later learn that the procedure may have been driven by financial incentives. That kind of allegation strikes at the heart of the doctor-patient relationship. American Transit Insurance, the plaintiff, claims it lost millions by paying for procedures that were allegedly unnecessary or may not.
According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page Six, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influenced and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies.
Not have happened at all. But there's another side to consider. Insurance companies have also faced criticism over denied claims and disputes with medical providers. So the bigger question remains, is this lawsuit exposing a fraudulent medical operation? Or is the insurance company trying to recover its own losses? Until the case is resolved, those questions remain unanswered. Dr. Emmanuel's attorney, Daniel Thoitz, quickly came to his client's defense, calling the lawsuit meritless. He argued that the plaintiffs were simply trying to recover financial losses and were using Dr. Emmanuel as a target. Then Joe Rogan entered the conversation. The podcast host and media commentator criticized the situation and what he described as a major double standard. Rogan questioned Sunny's public image as someone who often speaks with confidence on issues involving accountability in healthcare. He suggested that her husband's legal troubles could raise uncomfortable questions about